Hello and welcome to Husky Huddle. I'm your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and with me, the greatest flag football coach in New Jersey history,
Yeah, right.
Coach Schuman.
That's a joke.
He is just doing a phenomenal job running 10 different leagues, all different age groups, coaching every position, every team. He must clone himself.
No, if I did clone myself, then I'd be in a lot better shape. Actually, if I clone if I clone myself and my clone gave me the money, that'd be awesome. But if I clone myself and my clone kept the money, it would be like, who cares if I clone myself, right?
Well, your clone, that's really a stupid, that's a stupid thought. Why would your clone keep your money? He's you. It's going to you.
No, if I have a clone,
Yes.
all right,
Your clone is giving you the money. That's the whole point of having the clone.
Money, so he would be poor?
You're you're funding him. He lives to serve you. That's his job.
That's not how clones work, though.
How do you know how clones work? What did you watch Multiplicity with Michael Keaton?
I did watch
where all the clones banged his wife?
I did watch it. The clones go all in their own direction. It's like having a twin.
Yeah, but Keaton eventually lays down the law and they listen to him. They're not gonna steal your money.
Hold on.
They're gonna make you money. You're a team. When you have clones, you're a team.
Once you clone yourself, you don't have control over that clone.
No, but the clone is you. So it thinks like you. The clone is thankful that you gave him life. It's not?
No. It's like your kid. He's not thankful for you giving him life.
So, okay, you're saying you clone yourself and then your clone just goes off on his own and does his own thing. You never hear from him again. Is that what
no, it's like it's like your twin, but better.
Right.
In the sense that he has the same mindset.
Yes. But you don't think
bad. What if my clone is like Bizarro, like Superman, right? So Bizarro
like the Dark Superman? Oh, that'd be bad. Yeah, if he was like Superman when he was naughty. He was beating people up.
Basically like the evil twin.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, see, that's different though. I don't think you'd get an evil clone.
I think there's a good chance I would get an evil clone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it obviously would depend
if I got a clone that acted on any impulse that you think about, like think about it, right? Like that's you stop yourself, but this clone doesn't have an edit mode for some reason. Like when they clone them, are they always exact replicas, or there's always a slight difference?
There were slight differences in all of them in the movie.
So if there's a slight difference, so let's say I added a clone that's like a missing something.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what happened to Michael Keaton. His like fourth clone was somewhat slow.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
remember he was a little slow.
Yes.
So they had issues with him because they had to hide him out because if they knew anyone saw him they would know.
He was eating all the food and all that stuff, wasn't he?
Like, yeah, he would wear like airplane glasses and just look like a buffoon.
Yeah,
but I don't think that would happen because you're already good with technology. No. If you were to clone yourself, you would know how to do it right, and you would make a good clone, and you would program it so it was like your servant.
Right, so you would have to program it as essentially your servant,
which you would do.
But what happens if the clone in his processing says to himself at some point, "Fuck this shit"? Like,
well, AI with the AI, yeah, I could see that happening. But you'd have to program it like not to learn. Like you'd have to give it like a level.
You want it to learn, but you want it to serve you.
To an extent, yes.
Once he learns, he ain't gonna want to serve you.
You put that's what I'm saying. You put what do you call it? A governor You know how they
put governor on.
governors on cars? You put a governor on your clone on how much you can learn, and it's always loyal to you. And its job, it's ingrained in him. He
like
knows.
his governor is
I serve.
Always do
David.
what Dave asks.
Exactly, and that's it.
And the money I make,
he comes to you with every penny. If he picks up a penny off the ground, he gives it to you.
I could go for that.
That's what I'm saying. You could do it.
So basically, you're hiring indentured servants.
Well, not really, because it's a clone. Remember the movie where they would clone people for their body parts? The movie The Island? And when people would get off the island, they were all excited. They thought they were going to paradise when they were really going to the person who needed like a new leg or kidney, and they got killed. That's what they use clones for.
What about the movie called when Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was cloned?
Yeah, was that Total Recall?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know when he was. I'm not sure. I don't know when he was cloned.
What movie was Arnold?
I just know The Island. That was like for wealthy people. They cloned themselves. So if there was any health issues, they would use the clone's body parts.
6 Day.
Okay. Oh, I never saw it. I heard of it, but I never saw it. Yeah, it was later.
That was more like what I would think it would be. Let's look up what 6 Day talked about. Who cares about the Huskies? Let's talk about something.
No. We're going to talk about the Huskies. But I'm just listen. You gotta.
6 Day was. I love how it takes you right to AI now.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All right, so let's see. Cloning. A 6 Day was about. Okay, here's a breakdown of how the cloning company replacement technology cultivate blanks or embryo-like forms in growth tanks.
Mm-hmm.
These blanks are essentially empty vessels need to be infused with specific DNA. When someone needs to be cloned, the DNA is taken and used to finish the blank, given in a physical camera. To make a clone a true replica, the original person's memories are downloaded and transferred to the clone.
Yes.
Through a process called sync coding. This involves scanning the brain and copying the memories onto a disk and is uploaded to the clone.
Yes.
Technology. Cloning process depicted in 6 days, purely 5. The film.
Well, that's similar to like you know how I want to be frozen cryogenics.
Yes.
They have like brain mapping where they upload your memory to a computer and then they put your brain in a new body in the future.
Oh, and I see. So Arnold.
But if you were cloned, I definitely know because you're so good with programming.
Adam comes home. Yeah.
You'd program it to do what you told it to. It would not disrespect you.
Here's what's interesting. So Adam clone comes home to find a clone is taking this movie. That's right. I remember it was pretty good, but it was confusing. Adam comes home to find a clone has taken his place, essentially erasing him from his own life.
Really?
He comes home to find a clone has taken his place in his family, essentially erasing him from his own life.
Well, you see, but that's not going to happen.
The cloning company wants him dead to prevent from.
Yeah, they don't want it to get out.
To exposing illegal human cloning. Adam struggles with his own identity and implications of cloning, particularly after discovering he himself is the clone.
Oh, well, that's awful. I wouldn't like that.
So think about that. So
that's all. Okay, that's bad. That's bad.
Right. Adam grapples with ethical issues surrounding human cloning, especially the idea of clones not being afforded the same rights and respect
as
natural-born individuals. That's what we're talking about here.
Right.
And now he fights for survival, and he wants to expose the operation.
Don't you remember when they cloned the goat? That was
how do you know that you're not a clone?
Believe me, my parents wish I was a clone. They'd be thrilled. They throw a party if they knew I was a clone.
If they found out that you were actually the clone and the actual
they'd be thrilled. They'd be like, "Oh my God, we didn't screw up. It's not him. Maybe the normal one's out there."
Imagine if you went to New York City.
Be thrilled.
Steve, imagine you went to New York City and you found your clone working on Wall Street, and he sees you and you see him, and he's worth he runs a hedge fund called the instead of Cully, it's called give me another
Well, our real last name is Khalil.
Right, Khalil. His name is Steve Khalil.
Yeah.
Imagine Steve Khalil is running a hedge fund in New York City.
I can imagine that.
And you walk down there and you see him and his wife and his kids, and you're like, "What would you say? Would you take him out?" Now, here's a question: would you take when you follow him around? Okay, you follow him around.
Well, now I'm a stalker, basically.
Yeah. You're following around Khalil.
Okay. You're stalking my clone. Great.
You stalk your clone, and then you realize. What if you realize? Well, I'm a podcaster, but this Steve Khalil guy, I'd like to be him for a couple of days. At least,
No. The only thing I would do, I would have sex with his wife.
Right. So, how are you going to do that unless you kidnap him?
No, I'll make a call and say that he's needed. There's some emergency at the hedge fund, and then I'll just slip right back in there with whatever he's wearing, and I'll say, "Hey, babe, let's go." And I'll get it in, get it out,
and I'm see you later.
Out the door.
Gotta go back to work.
Yeah, and then he comes back and. She'll never know.
What are you going to do when she says, "This afternoon was fantastic"?
Well, I mean, he'll
the clone, and he's like, "Wait a minute, my wife's cheating on me."
Yeah.
No, I cheated on him with you. It was you.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't care at that point. If I got to have sex with my wife, then whatever happens.
And then what would you do if they searched for you and they figured out that you were the clone and they found you in Utica, New York? And
what are they going to do to me? They're going to lock me up for being a clone?
No, they're going to lock you up they would lock you up for rape.
It's not rape. It was consensual.
But it was consensual in the fact that she thought
under false pretenses.
It was Khalil and it's not Cully.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing my dad is the lawyer of the town.
That's true. How would he get you off? How would he
get me off? He wouldn't prosecute me. He declined to prosecute.
What if your dad has a clone of him? And that's actually Khalil's lawyer, and it'd be your dad, the clone, versus.
No, you're getting way too complicated.
Well, if we all have clones.
If my dad was some big hotshot lawyer in the city, and that's where the other one lived, wow, that would
imagine that battle. Imagine you guys came into court, two guys that look exactly like the father and son. One representing the other, the one who lives in Utica, and the other one representing the one who works down in New York City.
It would depend where the trial is. If the trial's in the city, I'm dead.
The trial would be in the city. It would be in the southern district
because that's where the crime occurred.
Yes.
My dad would be lost. I don't think he could. He wouldn't be able to operate in the city. I mean, come on.
Can you imagine that?
I can. Yeah, I can. But that would be my goal. I would stalk my clone. I'd make a call and say there's an emergency at the office. I'd dress like him. I'd slip in, do my business, slip out.
I feel like if I have two clones, I have a clone that is significantly better than me, accomplished every one of my dreams. But that's impossible.
I feel like
my clone has accomplished every one of my dreams that went through my head. And then I have another clone that has failed miserably and made all the wrong decisions.
Okay, so that's like Multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
And that guy's probably a straight up just problem.
Yes. Multiplicity, Michael Keaton.
But I bet you he parties, though. I bet you that guy parties. I bet you my clone. Yes. I bet you that guy parties.
You're talking about the plot of Multiplicity.
Oh, that was fun.
One clone was a neat freak.
Not the scary plot that was the Arnold one's. That's scary.
Plot. I'm gonna have to watch that now.
It's kind of I think the movie wasn't.
It wasn't a success. It was panned by critics. I remember that.
And you know what? It probably was way too far ahead of its time.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But it was right around when they cloned the goat.
2000? They cloned the goat.
Dolly, don't you remember? Or no, the sheep. It was a sheep. Was it a sheep or a goat? I just know it was named Dolly. And that's when they started talking about the ethical issues of cloning. Because like you could clone yourself to save your life. Like what would be wrong with that? I mean, it would be the ethical concern. Are you treating the clone as a normal person, or is it your property to use as you please? So like if you have kidney failure and you need a kidney transplant, your clone gives you its kidney. You need a heart transplant, you take its heart.
Right. And what happens to him?
He dies. That's what happened on the island. The movie The Island. And then you just clone, you're rich. So you just clone someone, you build another clone. So you're always protected. But I think you would program your clone because you're good at software and technology and programming. You would program it using AI with limitations on how smart it could be, and it would always follow your orders.
I don't know if that would end
up working. Not. Yeah, it would work. It could never disobey you. That would be key in the programming. You would have to program it.
Dolly the clone sheep died in 2003.
Yeah, I know.
Lung cancer.
Yeah, we lost her. I know, but we can clone anything.
She's now taxidermy.
Yeah, but she's a legend. I mean, she lived for, I think it was 96. She was cloned. Yeah, it's a good life for a goat or a sheep.
Did it have any special?
No, it was just the science. It was like one of the major.
Have you heard of CRISPR?
No.
You don't know what CRISPR is?
I don't.
Oh, wow, they were doing it in China.
I gotta see if Christie's commenting at all about. Okay, no, he's not. Listen.
CRISPR is CRISPR is clustered regularly interspace short palindromic repeats. Basically, it's replicating DNA.
Okay. So what do you do with it?
You insert the CRISPR, like you replicate the DNA and you insert it in the area that's affected, that's going wrong.
Oh, and it regenerates or
and yeah. So eventually CRISPR is going to be used for like genetic modification.
I'm all for it. All for it.
People are worried about it being used as biological weapons or designer babies. Could you imagine if they CRISPR'd? They said, "Oh well, Steve."
As long as they didn't CRISPR Tyler, it'd be fine.
You go and you go. All right, Steve. Well,
now I'm talking to my clone.
No, you're not talking to your clone.
Oh, okay.
You're saying Steve says, "I want to have a baby on my own with some woman, but I don't want to get married. I want to have this baby, and I want to take my gene."
That's what surrogates are for.
And I want to replicate it, but I want the designer baby, meaning the very best of all my genes passed on. So, like some of your genes that might be recessed, you know what I mean? That that don't come to light, that you never use or whatever,
like I have some hidden talent that I haven't figured out yet.
Singing, for example.
I sing like an angel. I mean,
if your designer baby had
it'd be on American Idol.
That's right, and had your ability on the offensive line, but whatever your weakness is.
Nah, I don't think. Even with the best, it still wouldn't be athletic.
Even with the best,
no. I
How
don't think
tall is
that
your
could
father?
6.
So he's only 6 feet. Your father.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
How tall is your mother?
They're small. They're both small.
How,
The only reason I'm tall.
How are you 6? How did you become 6'5"?
Because my grandfather, my mother's father, who my brother named his baby after, which still drives me nuts, was 6'4". And my uncle Jim played football at Florida. He's 6'2". So I think the height came from that side. The Cully side is Lebanese, so they're all midgets. They're all small. My dad was tall for, an Arab.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah. But listen, I'm all for it. I'm signing up for. I want to be frozen. I want to go to Alcor and be cryogenically frozen. I believe in that. They'll unthaw me. If they can clone me, I'm for that. And I'll use its body parts to extend my life.
Right.
Yeah, but
sounds good.
I'm ethically, they don't have any rights. I don't treat them as people. I use them. And if I ever met my clone, I would bang its wife.
You would bang
out
its
of
wife.
spite. Out of spite, yes.
Okay.
And if my clone had a brother, I wouldn't like that brother either.
That makes sense.
Yeah, keep it consistent.
Yeah, why not?
Because my brother he just had his baby in February. He named his baby Rocco Anthony Cully. And they announced this early. I protested it. I said I hated it. I don't like it. It needs to be changed. And nobody listened to me. I was vetoed.
You were vetoed.
It makes no sense, Dave. Cully is, first of all, Cully is like an Irish name. You don't put Rocco Anthony with Cully. It doesn't fit. Stephen Jr. would have been nice. Or they'd name it after my brother, Matt. Like Rocco. Everyone's going to look at the kid and think he's weird.
Right, yo, Rocco.
We're going to cut Rocco Cully? Come on.
Yo, Rock.
I was looking on this roster.
I like it.
No, you don't. Do not for you. No, you don't like it. Never say you like anything that my brother does.
Why is that?
Anything he does, you have to disagree with and agree with me.
Why is that?
Because I'm always right and he's wrong.
He's wrong.
I'm trying to find this tight end that you said transferred in. I can't. I don't see him. Is it somewhat recent?
Wait, what?
You said there was a tight end that transferred in from North Carolina State.
Okay.
I can't find him. I don't see a tight end from North Carolina State. In fact, I don't see any tight ends at all. And the ones that transferred in. Oh, there is. Okay, I see it now. Javante Vereen. He's a tight end / wide receiver. So that's different. I don't see that. Like I think the addition of Burton's kid can change the entire dynamic of the offense, which is why it excites me.
Talk to me.
Well, as I've mentioned, our offensive line coach, our / coordinator, Ozempic, I don't like his run game because we talked about it. He bases it all off of outside zone. I don't know any team in the country that their base run play is outside zone, out of the gun, offset. It does not work. So Michael, I watched play. I think they have 3 decent tight. I like Lewis the best. I think he does the most. Alex Honig is a very good blocker. Michael is an excellent blocker. So the versatility, I would love to see them do some 12 personnel. That's my favorite grouping, 12 or 21. And instead of using outside zone, Michael can be at the wing. And the way that I used to basically scheme my run game, back two, back away, wing two, wing away. So when the back and the wing were on the same side, I would try to run power. Power would be a same side handoff.
Right.
Michael would insert in the middle. The tackle could kick out, or you can double team it. There's that. I like the zone divide,
right,
where the tight end, the wing, Michael would come across and wham the end. I think that he does that very well.
Okay.
I would like to see counter. I'm big into counter. And as much as we run outside zone, you can run the counter off of outside zone action. The back takes steps like he's going for outside zone and then comes across and runs counter opposite. I like it's counter H. The guard in the H would pull. Michael would be the H. I saw him do this at Georgetown. Hi, Hattie Diallo. It's your birthday. And yes, I can say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, and thank you for joining the show. And if you ever get a clone, just make sure you take advantage of it. So I am thrilled that Michael transferred to UConn. I think he adds a dimension to the run game that we need. I think Georgetown misused him because he's athletic enough to where he's not as athletic as Lewis, but he can be a threat in the passing game. So I would the way I would structure it, I would run 12 personnel. I'd put Hansen on the line to one side. I'd have Michael as a wing on the other side off the line. And then I'd put two wide receivers to the same side. So you get a trips look with two tight ends. That's my favorite formation in football.
Okay.
I think it gives you a lot of options. That, or we would run just a dead tight end to one side and then trips three receivers to the other. But I like having the two tight ends. So basically you have a tight ends trips formation to the right and a dead tight end to the left. And that's what I would do with Michael. I put him off the ball. And then you have a lot of options with the run game. I'd like to say we don't run any gap schemes. We run some inside zone and it's outside zone. And with Joe Figliano set to be the starter, you have to change your thinking in the run game because he's not going to be able to really read someone. You're going to have to block everyone. That's why I like 21 personnel. I like 12 personnel because teams are built to stop spread offenses. Right. They basically play 4-2 defense with a Sam linebacker who's more like a nickel. So if you go into 12 personnel or 21 personnel and you force them to play a 4-3, I think you'll outman them. Now you're rubbing your eyes, so I'm clearly boring you. But philosophically, I think it gives them a big advantage, being able to have that personnel grouping and then the play action off of it. I don't know if you were ever a play caller.
Who, me? Of course
yes.
I was.
Of course you were. Well, you don't seem excited. You don't like 12 personnel?
I do like 12 personnel.
Okay. And do you don't think that we're capable of running 12 personnel?
Yeah. Well, didn't we do it this year?
Not much. I mean, we did a little bit.
Use the tight end for that.
I would put Hansen. I would use Hansen, and I would use Michael, or I would use Alex, and I would use Michael.
Makes sense.
And there's the yawn. There's yawn number 1. So I know we're going in the right direction.
No, direction, baby.
I'm just saying, when you have Michael, I don't think.
Happy birthday, Hadi Diallo.
I said that already. If you were paying fucking attention, I said that already. I'm just saying. Now you're putting your glasses. You can't sit still. You are so bored right now. I'm just saying that.
What conversation did I enjoy more so far today?
Well, obviously the cloning, but I'm trying to say that when you have 12 personnel, the versatility it gives you, it puts constraints and stresses the defense because they don't have the personnel to match up with it. You have a lot of options.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. Okay, so let me ask this question.
We're not going back to the clone.
No.
You were going to go back to the cloning.
No, I was going to ask you. No, I was going to ask you about.
Your face is turning beet red. You're laughing.
No, I'm not even. I don't really want to get into the fullback discussion.
No, I love I'd love it if they go like pistol with him in the gun as a fullback. I'd love it. I'd love to see them run some ISO.
They ain't doing that.
I think that, Dave, I don't think they have a choice. You're not listening to me. Their quarterback is Joe. So there's no zone read option. He can't run. So you have to change your scheme. You have to change your run game to fit your personnel. Do you not?
Right.
Right. And here comes the yawn. No, it's true. I'm telling you. They based everything off of outside zone. When Joe was the quarterback, they would run outside zone and the backside pursuit would get to him. It was so fast because they didn't respect him as a runner.
Yeah.
They didn't hold the backside end of the linebacker. Yeah. So
but they did do divide.
Yeah, once I yelled about it on the show, they did a little bit of it. They did. I think that needs to be a base play. I think they need to block everyone. So when you run, you can't read anyone. You have Joe Figiano. He's slower than bullshit.
What about RPO?
I'm fine with the RPO. That's why I still like 12 personnel, because you can get a trips look and you can RPO. You can have the run game to the dead tight end side, and then the RPO, the 3 receiver. You have a tight end and 2 receivers to run the route combination for an RPO. You got outside zone to the left and your passing game to the right. But I don't think we do. I know we are. The only play that I'm certain we RPO is naked. Anytime we run a naked, it's an RPO, according to my friend Joe Villapiano, which I've never heard of, running a naked as an RPO.
Right.
Yeah, you're bored. Okay.
But what, naked as an RPO? They've never run a naked as an RPO?
No. That's the only thing I've seen them RPO out of. Whenever they run a naked, it's an RPO. But I think that
Is it read the backside end?
Yes.
Or the outside linebacker, or one of the
they read the end. They read the end. But I like the receiver that's coming in. He's a USF transfer, Naeem Simmons. He was signed last week. I think he's a good pickup. And the guy that I like is Romello Murphy.
Romello.
He's the guy that came. I mean, he's been 5 fucking different places, but I think he can play. And losing Josiah Gavings, I said, was huge. I like Romello Murphy. I like Chris Parker. Chris Parker is the transfer from Central Michigan. So I think he's a big help. And then they got the linebacker we talked about from BYU, the Polynesian kid, Sion Moa. I think he's going to be effective. And then they got what they needed. They added a couple defensive backs and D linemen. Marquise Black he was at Nebraska and then Western Kentucky, and then Gardner Webb, and now he comes to us. We got another DB, Jeremiah Lomax, who went from Limes. What the hell's Limestone College? I've never heard of that.
Oh, Division 2.
Where's it located?
Division 2. I don't know.
That doesn't matter. Okay. But no, they got him, and they have a plethora of receivers. But this is my question, Dave. With the transfer portal, you're essentially turning over your roster every year. Like, how do you deal with 32 or 33 new kids every year? That's what blows my mind, and I don't know how teams are able to build continuity and have success. And did you see the NCAA news that they are going to increase spring practice?
The
number of practices? So no. Okay. They're going to have
it's going to go from what?
They're going to have 15 true spring practices, and they're going to allow 6 or 7 quote unquote OTAs like the NFL does. And the competition committee, the coaches are all saying they need it because of what I just said, the roster turnover. They're getting so many new kids that 15 practices in the spring is not enough to gel and build that continuity. But it's going to be spread out, though, where you're talking 3 weeks and then a break and then like another 3 weeks. I just think it's a lot. But essentially, you're dealing with teams having NFL rosters with the turnover. So you got to treat it that way. And that's why they already have the rule where in the summer, the coaches are allowed to work with their players, which is why I wanted to get out of coaching, because I enjoyed having July off. That was the only time we had off. Now you don't have that off. You know, the coaches are meeting with the kids. They're doing indie with the kids. But I don't know how you cannot do that with so many new faces. They got to learn your scheme. They got to learn technique. They got to be ready to play. And it's like, like I complained to you, Jamal Lundy, I told you, had the Maryland State Player of the Year, the wide receiver, Jaden McDuffie, visited and didn't get a look. He got a tour from Baylock. Kashif Moore did a great job with him. Spent time with him, talked to him. That was it. Jamal drove him 7 hours for that. And the kids got offers, Maryland, Northwestern. He is running at Temple. He's got an offer. He's running at Penn State, going to their camp, UCLA, and USC. And UConn, apparently, he's not good enough for us. He's 6'4", close to 6'5", 185. He had 2,000 and something yards receiving last year. Like, why? How do you not take that kid? And that's why I complained to you, and I posted on Facebook. UConn has resources that they're not using for recruiting, such as yourself, Julius, Jamal coaches. Why wouldn't you even just listen or look at the kids that your alumni bring in and recommend. I mean, Julie, I know you haven't watched the show that we do, the Trench Mob show. The talent that he has on the offensive and defensive line is unbelievable. What are you watching that you're ignoring me?
I'm listening to you. You're frustrated that they're not utilizing the resources, Julius. They're not going to use them, dude. I mean,
Yeah, but why? Why? I don't get it.
Because they know better.
They don't know better. I get you want to bring in older kids. I get you want transfers. You want ready-made kids. That's not freaking reality. And that's not what made UConn good in the first place. When we had our run of success, it was because we developed players. Player development. They redshirted, they trained, they got better. We never signed anyone better than a 2-star kid. We got a 2-star kid. Coach Etzel was thrilled. But he developed them, and by their redshirt sophomore year, they were playing. I think doing some of that as opposed to, if you look at the transfers they're bringing in, they're 1-year kids. You're renting them for a year. Because, you got to replace a 22-year-old with a 22-year-old. That's how they think. And I just don't believe in that. I still believe in freshmen. I believe in development. You may not have as much success right away, but 2 years down the road, and I know athletic directors and fans aren't patient to wait, but come on, man, this is wrong. I mean, you look at this you look at this list. Everyone on here has transferred 2 or 3 times, David. That doesn't. That's a red flag to me.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
that's the process now. See, I don't. I agree.
But why? Why is a kid?
Because everyone thinks they're a social media star. Everybody thinks they're going to be a Twitter star. Everybody thinks they're going to be this. They're going to make money.
So you're saying it's all about branding and money and NIL. That's really,
there are players that obviously want to be great. I get it. There are a lot. Most of them do. Once they get, but part of it is that they want that other part too.
But what bothers, like even this Tai Chan, okay, Lawrence Academy, any Massachusetts doesn't have great football. He goes to Notre Dame. Couple years, and he transfers, and it just bothers me because when I played, it was you work your ass off in the off season, you lift weights, you play your ass off in spring practice, you get better, you earn a starting position. You don't take your ball and leave and go home and go somewhere else to play. I just think you're taking the easy way out. Now, obviously, there's kids that have transferred up. That's obviously a different story, but I just like a kid went to IMG Academy, went to Kansas, and now he's with us.
So what does that mean?
It just bothers me. Like he played the Griffin Koch, a wide receiver. He played high school at New Canaan, a good program. Then he goes to IMG Academy, obviously one of the best programs in the country. Gets a scholarship to Kansas, and then transfers to UConn. Why didn't Griffin just work hard? and try to get a starting job at Kansas. He took his ball and he came to UConn because it was going to be too hard to get on the field at Kansas. That's what bothers me.
Yeah.
That asshole dog work ethic where you do whatever you have to do to improve, to develop, to train harder, get bigger, stronger, faster, and force the fucking coaches to play instead of, I'm not playing, I'm leaving.
That's what it is, though.
I'm gonna powder my pussy and leave. Yeah, that is what it is. That's why I think these kids are
powder the women. Is that what women do? They powder it.
That's what I say about these weak kids. They're I'm just gonna go powder my pussy and leave.
Well, that's why you can't coach in today's era, right?
There's no way. I'd go nuts.
You go nuts.
I'd fight someone.
Yeah.
I mean, I fought a coach during practice at Holy Cross.
You did?
Oh yeah, it was the kids all talk about it. It was the greatest thing they ever saw. I fought our defensive coordinator in the middle of the team, and the kids loved it.
Why?
They still talk about it. What happened? We ran a play, and it was a run play to the sideline. My tight end was blocking for the jailbreak screen, and he blocked the dude out of bounds, and they were pushing and shoving each other. What are you videoing me?
No. My
you just can't you can't pay attention.
No, it's not that. My phone, I had sent out a text, and so people don't call me. I sent out a text
right.
You know how it picks up your voice?
Yeah.
So I must have hit accidentally the microphone and started sending a text. So sending a text.
Powder your pussy? Is that what it says?
It was going into a whole crazy thing, and it was like someone from my league.
Oh, you should have let it go. That would have been awesome.
That would have been bad.
So the defensive coordinator comes to break it up, but he grabbed my guy and pulled him away. So I grabbed the defensive coordinator and threw him, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And then he starts yelling, "What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. What's your problem?" I fucking pushed him again, and he tripped and fell over. And then the kids go nuts. The head coach fucking grabs me and starts motherfucking me. I was like, "You said don't." I said, "Don't you ever touch my fucking kids." And then the head coach said, "He's my kids. He's all our kids. He's not just yours. Who the fuck do you think you are?" And he's yelling, he's motherfucking me, and I'm just walking away snarling like a fucking bull. And I was ready to kill the guy. But anyway,
you weren't a fan of your head coach?
Oh, he was out of his mind.
It worked his death, basically.
I basically killed myself for him. You worked 7 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night, and if you left before, like, the defensive coordinator, Coach Kasherba, the nicest guy in the world, he would watch film of our opponent from 2 and 3 years before to just see if there's any plays that they may run. I thought that was crazy. Our offensive coordinator, Brian Rock, was the best. He was efficient. He didn't waste time. We did our shit, and we were good. And then, I would try to sneak out. And if you left and the head coach saw you, he'd be like, your guys are going to grade out at 100 on Saturday? No missed assignments? They're going to be perfect? Okay, yeah, go home. Have a good night. That's what he'd say. Anyway, so
sounds like a fun guy, huh?
Tom Gilmore. Nobody like him. Did they schedule Rod?
What is this nonsense?
What?
So when Angel Reese missed the foul shot, did you see the whole thing?
Oh, yeah, with Caitlin Clark. It was awesome.
So now
the
WNBA is investigating Indiana fans cheering after Angel Reese. Isn't that what a home crowd does? They cheer.
They rattled her and she missed a free throw.
Isn't that what that happens in basketball? Isn't that what they do?
Apparently, you can't do that anymore.
People yelling like,
yeah, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to be fans. We're all woke now. You can't be fans.
I mean that's
you have to love everyone.
I mean that's absurd.
And they had a record crowd. They had 17,000.
It's not a 10U game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. They had 17,000 fans. Caitlin Clark sold the place out.
Right.
She got a foul and then she got teed up. And then her teammate came to kind of break it up. She got teed up.
Did she really?
Yes. It was the craziest thing I've read.
WNBA is so woke. It's so ridiculous.
It is.
I mean, give me a break. Like, let the girls play, dude.
I mean, she tried to knock the ball out of.
They never came after. They never came after the people that were purposely targeting. Weren't even going for the ball.
Oh, I know. They were trying to.
Ball.
Yeah, they were punching her. They were just.
You can't do a hard foul now? You can't do a hard foul?
It was unfucking believable. And because the Indiana fans, they allegedly may have said some racist stuff, which I can't believe.
I don't believe it. WNBA game, I just don't buy it.
No, I don't either. And
Angel, the whole who even? Well, I guess Indiana they probably do come to watch Caitlin. But
everywhere she draws, wherever she goes, she draws. But the problem is Angel Reese is just an asshole. She's got an attitude. She plays like an asshole. She set the league record for double doubles last year because she was such a bad shooter. She'd get her own rebound and score. And she's just a troublemaker. She's an average player with bloated stats. And her and Caitlin Clark have feuded for years since they played in 2 national championship games against each other and now in the WNBA.
It's craziness, dude.
So I'll just finish by saying again, I think Michael Burton is an outstanding signing. I think they can do some.
Is Mike Burton flipping you money for this or something?
No. I'm being dead serious. I honestly believe because yes, we need to do 21 and 12 personnel if we're using Joe Figiano because he cannot run. When you have a quarterback who cannot read, you have to block everyone. In order to block everyone, you need 12 personnel. You need 21 personnel. That's the only way you have numbers.
Do you know there is another fullback, Mike Burton, that is actually very well known?
Yes,
you know that?
I did see that. Yes, I did see that when I
Rutgers is Mike Burton.
When I tried tagging on Twitter, I saw the other one. Yes,
Mike Burton. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
But that's what I think.
So if your name is Mike Burton,
yeah, maybe they're billionaires too. Who knows?
They have to be fullbacks if their name is Mike Burton.
But you need that. It's an added dimension in the passing game.
That's what I'm saying.
No, because you ignore me. You ignore what I'm saying.
A whole. Yeah. All right.
You ignore everything I say. You go. Yeah. That's the feedback I get from you.
Well, you
I get no feedback. You're playing with your phone. You're playing with the microphone. You can't sit still. You're yawning. I mean, it's like it's amazing. Look at this. You are so bored. If we were talking about fucking Chappaquiddick or Marilyn Monroe again, you'd be all into it.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah, I wonder who we're gonna do this week. I actually wanted to do Elvis, but I didn't know if you would do Elvis.
I like Elvis.
I do Elvis
What's the conspiracy on it though? What's
is he still alive?
Is that what some people think? He's 90 years old by now.
That he lived through that. I do Elvis, Andy Kaufman, or John Hinckley, the one that shot Reagan.
Andy Kaufman?
Yeah, Andy Kaufman.
Comedian?
Yes, you asked. Andy Kaufman. The one that Jim Carrey played.
One than that. What's the guy that was the Saturday Night Live guy?
Oh, from Animal House.
From Animal House? No, not Belushi. I don't think there's any.
Oh, you're not talking about Belushi?
No, I'm talking about the guy whose wife.
That's Phil Hartman. Phil
Hartman would be good.
That's not the wife went ballistic. I do Casey Anthony. I like Casey Anthony. I wrote Casey Anthony love letters.
Those are clear-cut cases, I guess. Why did she kill him, by the way, Phil Hartman?
I don't know the whole story behind it, but she admitted to it. Casey Anthony, I actually wrote letters to in prison.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Swear to God.
Oh, hers was this was a murder-suicide. Phil Hartman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That might be worth doing.
Not really. No, there's no mystery behind it. Like Elvis, I would love to do. I do the Black Dahlia.
Well, I don't understand what the mystery is behind Elvis.
He could be alive, or he could have survived. There wasn't really no, there was. The Black Dahlia, the Zodiac Killer. I love them. DB Cooper is my dream. If I got to do DB Cooper.
How about Richard Simmons?
Who's Richard Simmons? Who's Richard Simmons?
Went into the oldies.
He's dead?
I think he just died.
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah.
Why?
So here's the whole thing about Richard Simmons.
Dead?
Richard Simmons, is obviously, I don't know, like did he ever really come out as gay? But I always thought
no, but he was very flamboyant.
Very flamboyant. Okay. That's putting it mildly. Obviously, he's from a different era, so
So you're trying to say my twin is gay? That where you're going?
Is that your twin, Richard Simmons?
My clone is gay.
So,
what did Richard Simmons do?
So Richard Simmons disappeared from
just disappeared.
Basically, stopped. So basically,
he vanished.
Yeah. So when was he famous? Like in the 90s and 80s, right?
It was the 90s and 80s, sweating to the oldies. He made all those stupid videos where you had to dance. And he wore spandex that showed his little small wiener.
And then he disappeared. He just never.
What do you mean he disappeared? You can't.
He never in the public again after like a certain time period.
But he's not dead.
Well, he just died last year.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's confirmed. Okay.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
I don't want to do Richard Simmons. I want give me Casey Anthony. Give me George Zimmerman. I love George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman would be good.
I would do the Trayvon Martin.
Controversial.
Well, yeah, it'd be very controversial, but I would do it. I watch that trial every day, just like I'm watching the Karen Reed trial.
What was your thought process on that trial?
The George Zimmerman?
Yeah.
I thought he was innocent based on the
he did get found innocent, did he?
He did.
Yeah.
Not guilty based on the stand your ground law.
Mm.
But he made
an innocent period.
Well, based on the law, yes. But he got out of he called 911. He saw Trayvon Martin, thought he was suspicious, called 911. The 911 operator told him not to follow him. He did anyway. And they got into the fight. And this 17-year-old kid was beating the shit out of him. And he grabbed his gun and shot him. But if you see the pictures of Zimmerman after the altercation, I mean, he was beat up and he had his head bashed. There's another yawn. But I would do George Zimmerman. I would do Casey Anthony. Lori Vallow Daybell. That one's crazy.
Lori Daybell. Okay.
Elvis, the King. Big fan. And then whenever DB Cooper is my dream to do.
Right.
I know you don't know anything about DB Cooper.
No, I don't. I have to look him up. I don't know enough about him.
It's the only skyjacking in American history that was successful. There's another yawn.
All right. So I got to get a coffee. Let's end the show, and then we'll get back.
We'll go to the quarterbacks. Yeah.
So 1:30 quarterbacks?
Yes, 109. You can get your coffee. Okay. Yeah. This was great. We talked about clones, how I'm going to bang my clone.
Fullback. You're going to bang your clone? Wait a minute. What?
No, the clone's wife. I'm going to bang my clone. I'm going to bang my clone's wife.
Could you imagine? Hold on, let's stop at that one for a second.
No, I would not. I misspoke.
Could you imagine your clone as you come up behind him?
What do you mean come up behind him? Yeah, in what way are you talking come up behind him?
You said you wanted to bang your clone.
I misspoke. I want the wife. It would be a spite fuck.
Your clone's like, what are you doing? It's me.
It would be a spite fuck. We talked about my brother's baby's name being stupid. You agree? You would never name your kid Rocco Anthony Schuman.
Is he Italian?
Yeah, we're half Italian, but Cully is not an Italian name.
But he is Italian.
Yes, we're Italian. We're half and half.
You're half and half. Just
like you're Polynesian, Indonesian, Jewish, Russian.
I'm a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah, but you would never name your kid Rocco Anthony Schuman. If you had the Chisba DNA and another kid,
well, is he going to be a lawyer, the kid is, or is he going to be in the mob?
My brother's kid?
Yeah,
he'll be a pussy. That's what he's going to be.
I don't know if it's a good idea.
My brother sells medical devices.
I mean, one of my son's good friends is named Rocco, and that kid's pretty cool.
What's his last name?
It's Italian.
Exactly. That's what you put Rocco with. Italian. You can't put Rocco with Cully.
Rocco Cully.
It's like, peanut butter and mustard.
Rocco Anthony Cully.
Don't even say it. It irritates me hearing it. I had to go to the christening. I just hearing that name.
Did you ever watch your shows?
Yeah, he actually likes them on LinkedIn. I don't think he watches them, but we don't really talk much.
Why?
I just said, he is a polar opposite of me. He is a great person, a great guy. Doesn't do anything to get in trouble. He's married.
Athlete? Was he an athlete?
He played Division III lacrosse. He was not a good football player. He was an okay lacrosse player. He's an introvert. He doesn't really talk. He has a lot of social anxiety. If he's in crowds, he'll drink.
Do you find that interesting that he's more of an introvert, he's married, and that you're an extrovert? And
the Cullys are bad in relationships. Matt only had one other. He's like me. Matt only had one girlfriend before his wife. I'm not the biggest fan of his wife either. So that.
Why?
Well, she's an attorney. She's a district attorney.
Oh, wow. Smart.
Oh wow! Don't fucking. Oh wow! I said I would get arrested just so I could go again. I would represent myself and I would defeat her in court.
You could not defeat her.
Yes, I absolutely could. I would go rob a store just to get arrested and face her in court. There's the yawn. There's the good big yawn.
That's good. I mean, that's interesting. I'd like to see that.
I swear to God, I do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I would do it. I would do it to prove that I'm smarter. But she talks about her casework a lot. And
does Burton's son help us win 11 games this year, you think?
Yeah, if they change the run game, yeah. We have 3 good.
Well, if they recruited him, obviously they're looking to do more of that stuff. So
they have 3 to 4 very good running backs.
Right.
So yes, I think it's an added dimension.
Are you better off having 2 of those running backs on the field at the same time? Or
no, it's tough to run 20 personnel. You're limited in the run game. You have to 20 personnel works if you run the zone read option. We always had success with that. I don't know if you know what the zone read option is.
You're asking me if I know what the zone read option is? Of course I do.
Well, you don't act like you don't know anything. So I don't
act like I know anything about football.
No, the zone read option is the one back.
Now you're just trying to get it.
The one back runs the zone.
The zone read option is press the front side A. Cut it back. You read the end man on the line. You decide whether you're going to pull or run.
No. Fuck. No. There's 2 backs.
You talk about divide, split zone.
Can I speak?
Split
now,
zone.
But before you weren't talking.
Split zone means you block the guy.
It's not split zone. It's not. It's not split zone. You weren't talking before. Now you're speaking and interrupting me. There's 2 backs. The one back runs zone to the left. The other back runs orbit motion, goes in orbit on the snap. Yes.
Pitch.
And the quarterback reads the backside end. And he either keeps it or pitches it. They pitch off the backside end. That's the only way you run 20 personnel. I like that.
You talk about with 2 backs, yes.
2 tailbacks.
You'd have to be committed to triple option in that case.
It's not. Yes,
it is triple option.
It is, but I mean, we didn't. It was a wrinkle for us. We didn't major in it.
Or you could do midline. Boom.
There's no midline.
That's the midline. I love that.
There's the only way you could do
is walk them down midline.
The only way that would work is you have to find someone. The other back has to hold the end backside. He has to go in motion or do something or block the backside end. And that's why I don't like
point of attack. And that backside end just kicks out towards that end. Now he's blocked.
But I don't like doing that with tailbacks. I think it's there's other things you can do to hold the backside.
Blocking. I'm saying that the tackle, backside tackle, is kicking
blocks on. Then the backside backer
is like this. You just go.
I know what you're saying, but then the
front side.
Then the backside backer is free.
The backside backer.
Yes, if the tackle doesn't scoop up to the backside backer and leave the end.
The backside end you're leaving alone, right?
No,
the front side guy you're leaving alone. The front side end you're leaving alone. Midline you're talking about, right?
No, I don't want to run. You want to run the midline out of 2 back?
Yeah.
No, you can't do it.
Yeah, you should walk them
down. Not. Absolutely not.
You run midline zone. You run midline zone
out of the shotgun with split backs.
End.
You can do it if it maybe in the pistol. I would do it. Okay, if you do it in the pistol, I'm in. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it out of split.
Split backs.
Yes, that's
out of split backs. You do what you call car side. You run the go-go offense. It's front side zone.
yes.
And then you read the front side end. That guy car sides and he runs the option. I'll show it to you. Hold on.
Wait a.
I'll show it to you.
The front side end.
Watch.
You pitch off the front side end. You're telling me.
Hold on.
Who the fuck runs that?
UNLV.
Out of 20 personnel with split backs.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that they leave the front side end.
Let me see if I can.
That's like running duo almost, and I hate duo.
Let me see.
You probably don't know what duo is either. It's amazing how much football that I know and you don't.
Yeah, and I know duo.
I think if we took a football IQ test, I'd score way higher than you.
You would not score higher than me.
It's amazing you were a head coach.
You don't even know any innovation at all.
Innovation.
You just want to run I from fucking.
I invented a play. I invented 12 personnel, the wham to the tight end side. I invented that.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Go-go. Here's go-go.
There's nothing go-go. There's no play called go-go.
It's called the go-go offense, dude.
Okay.
That guy's the new head coach at Sacramento State, I think.
Oh, I heard of this guy. So you're saying this is
you heard of him?
The Sacramento State coach? Yes.
His name is Brendan Marion. Here we go. You
okay.
Ready?
So
go offense.
All right. I
see the two guys are car side.
Yeah. Okay. I said that's 20 personnel. That's just what I said. Yes. And you're telling me they read the front side fucking end.
Ready? Here we go.
They arc the tackle? A wide zone. Okay.
See, so they have them zone away. It's set up like backside zone read, but this guy becomes their pitch guy. Watch. Hold on. Let's get another. Let's see. There it is.
Hold on. Go back. I'm trying to see where's the other fucking running back.
He's on the right side.
It's zone read with the other back is the lead blocker. That's not innovative. I used to do that too. Except I'd pull the tight end and have him lead around instead of whamming the backside end. He would bluff.
Where is the
block for the quarterback?
I wanted the go-go
Marion go-go offense. You never ran this.
Two side. No, not really.
Yeah, I don't like this. Nope, no, that doesn't work. That's bad play. He's not a good coach.
This is the hottest offense there is right now.
It is not the hottest offense there is.
It is. It's the hottest offense.
The fuck it is. Two backs to the same side?
Yeah, car side they call it.
I hate it. I hate it already.
There you go. There's a way like a.
I saw it. I see it. That is odd as fuck.
There's another angle.
They're right next to each other.
Yep.
All right. So see, but there's a tight. Go back. There's a tight end in the game.
So
it's really it's 21 personnel with two tailbacks. Can you go back, please?
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see how they block it. Okay. All right. So
here's my option look.
Okay. I see what
you're saying. Option look?
Yes, I see it now. We ran this at Colgate. It's really like you said, it's like a midline backside A gap aiming point, and then you run the pitch off of it. I do like that.
Zone read technically, right?
I do. I like that very much. Yes, But I would not. It's not. I can't run it as a base.
Hi, Anna.
I'd have it as a wrinkle.
Hi, Anna Sanchez.
Anna Sanchez. If you ever clone yourself, let me know. All right, we've gone way too long.
Let's get off the show.
All right, so yeah, Husky Huddle, Steve Cully, best podcast host in the universe. Coach Schuman, the greatest flag football and coach in New Jersey history, and he's going to clone himself. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade, just clone them.